16 million COVID-19 vaccine shots expected to arrive within the next 2 months. Malaysia and China to discuss recent airspace incursion on Monday. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. You're watching News at 10. I'm Jessica Lee. Malaysia would be receiving around 16 million doses of COVID-19 vaccine in the next 2 months, and with the additional supply, the government is targeting the total daily vaccination rate to exceed 150,000 this month and higher. Now, Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin said at the moment, more than 280 vaccination centres or PPVs are operating throughout the country, and 300 more PPVs are expected to be opened as soon as possible. Tan Sri Muhyiddin added that the effort would not succeed without the thorough planning of the government and sacrifice of the frontliners as well as volunteers involved.
Daripada jawatan kuasa khas jaminan akses vaksin COVID-19, iaitu JKJAV, pemvaksin ataupun vaccinators, doktor, jururawat hinggalah anggota PDRM, ATM, rela, APM dan para sukarelawan, syabas dan terima kasih atas dedikasi dan juga kerja keras saudara-saudari untuk memastikan program vaksinasi terbesar dalam sejarah negara kita ini berjaya dilaksanakan.
The Premier stressed that as a caring government, it always listens to the grievances and feedback of the people and is also making efforts to improve its capability in terms of planning, capacity and manpower to achieve the main objective, which is herd immunity. He said the government is committed and would strive to ensure that the vaccination program proceeds smoothly and orderly. To ensure more people get vaccinated under the National COVID-19 Immunisation Programme, Tan Sri Muhyiddin has told the COVID-19 Vaccine Supply Access Guarantee Special Committee, or JKJAV, to review the vaccine registration process, including the proposal for automatic registration. Now, the Premier said he also heard complaints from residents in rural areas, villages and the interior, especially senior citizens who have difficulties in registering and receiving vaccines.
Dan untuk itu, saya telah mengarahkan semua kementerian dan juga agensi kerajaan yang terlibat agar menggunakan semua aset kerajaan bagi mempermudahkan untuk mereka mendapat vaksin.
Taking note of the concerns that many people have yet to receive their vaccination appointment dates, the Prime Minister also ordered JKJV to ensure that they have registered through all platforms to obtain an appointment date as soon as possible. He said up to today, almost 13 million individuals had registered for COVID-19 vaccine shots, which is only 51% of the overall total eligible to receive the vaccine. In this regard, Tan Sri Muhyiddin also urged the people to come forward as volunteers to assist the smooth process of dispensing vaccine. He said youths and non-governmental organizations are welcome to contribute their energy and time to make the largest vaccination exercise in the country's history a success. On another note, Tan Sri Muhyiddin said mobile vaccination units have been activated in 9 states as of June 3rd to speed up the process of administering COVID-19 vaccines.
Antaranya ialah di daerah Tenom dan Kinabatangan di Sabah, daerah Gua Musang dan Pasir Putih Kelantan, dan daerah Hilir Perak dan Kuala Kangsar di Perak. Di Pulau Pinang pula, kerajaan telah memulakan perkhidmatan unit vaksinasi bergerak di 8 rumah jagaan orang tua setiap hari. Manakala di Selangor, setiap daerah mempunyai unit vaksinasi bergerak sendiri.
The Premier added that the government has also opened a special vaccination centre, or PPV, for the disabled, such as the one at the Malaysian Association for the Blind in Brickfields for the visually impaired. He also said that the Federal Territories Ministry has introduced a mobile vaccine truck with a target of giving complete doses of vaccines to 400,000 residents around Kuala Lumpur, especially in densely populated areas such as the People's Housing Project and the Homeless Transit Centre. The National Pharmaceutical Regulatory Agency, NPRA, has approved a clinical study of another COVID-19 vaccine. Health Director General Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham Abdullah said the clinical study involving the SARS-CoV-2 vaccine or viral cells inactivated, manufactured by Shenzhen Kangtai Biological Products Company Limited in China, was approved on the 28th of May. In a statement, Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham said a Phase 3 clinical study to be conducted at 8 research centres in Malaysia with a target participants of 3,000 adults aged 18 years and above is expected to take 15 to 19 months. He also said apart from Malaysia, other countries involved in the clinical study are Colombia, Argentina, Pakistan, the Philippines and Ukraine. The Health Director General also said that the vaccine was also approved by China through its emergency use approval on the 14th of May. Tan Sri Dr. Nur Hisham said a clinical study conducted in the country could provide clinical information on the effectiveness, safety and suitability of the COVID-19 vaccine to Malaysians. He said this was an advantage needed by the government in efforts to achieve the herd immunity target through the National COVID-19 Immunisation Programme, which is being actively carried out nationwide. And on to the latest development of COVID-19 virus in the country. Malaysia recorded another 109 new deaths today, the second highest number of COVID-19 fatalities in a single day. The number is an increase from yesterday's figure, taking the death toll in the country to 3,291 since the pandemic began. On the 2nd of June, Malaysia registered 126 deaths within 24 hours, the highest since February last year. Meanwhile, another 7,452 new infections recorded in Malaysia today, with Selangor continuing to register the highest number of new cases. The state recorded 2,509 new COVID-19 infections, followed by Negeri Sembilan and Kuala Lumpur, with 843 and 678 new cases respectively. Another 6,105 individuals had made full recoveries from the deadly disease in the last 24 hours, taking Malaysia's recovery rate to 85.44%, or 521,676. There are currently 85,607 active cases in the country as of this afternoon, with 886 patients receiving treatments in the ICU and 446 others requiring breathing assistance. 27 Kuala Lumpur City Hall housing projects have been shortlisted for the first phase of targeted mass testing using antigen rapid test kits, or RTKAG, in Kuala Lumpur. Federal Territories Minister Tan Sri Anwar Musa said the initiative, which begins today, is among the ministry's efforts to curb and prevent any further spread of COVID-19 within communities.
Jadi untuk memastikan kawalan penularan dan juga membantu nak circumvent kes-kes yang tak bergejala tadi, maka kita membuat tapisan ini, saringan ini, tapi secara bersasar. Secara bersasar ini maksudnya apabila kita mendapat maklumat sama ada daripada haid ataupun maklumat daripada kes positif yang berlaku di satu-satu kawasan perumahan itu, kawasan itu dulu dijadikan kawasan keutamaan untuk kita membuat mass screening. Usaha ini juga membantu KKM lah, sebab KKM biasa bila dah dilakukan PKPD baru ada mass screening di kawasan PKPD. Jadi kita ambil ini sebelum PKPD.
Tan Sri Anwar explained that the mass screenings will be handled by a team of experts consisting doctors from the Health Department and COVID-19 Immunisation Task Force, or CITF. The minister said children under the age of 12 must be accompanied by parents or guardians during screening process. Those who undergone the screenings will receive their test results through SMS by the Ministry of Health. The Women, Family and Community Development Ministry, or KPWKM, hopes the study on COVID-19 vaccine application for children aged 12 to 17 years old can be expedited to protect the group. Its Minister, Datuk Sri Rina Mohamad Harun, said this followed the worrying trend of COVID-19 positive cases involving children in the country, apart from death cases reported due to the infection. She said the vaccine study for children can be expedited as other countries are already giving vaccines to those aged 12 and above, such as Singapore and the United States. The effort is aimed at reducing COVID-19 infection risk among children, thus protecting the group.
Sebab itu kita telah pun berhubung juga dengan kementerian yang berkaitan, KKM, MOSTI yang telah kita panjangkan supaya pemberian vaksin ini dapat disegerakan. Kita harap peak yang sekarang ni kita fokus kepada warga emas, kepada OKU, dan kita harap selepas ini juga akan fokus juga kepada kanak-kanak.
She said this to reporters after visiting a COVID-19 low-risk quarantine and treatment center, or PKRC, at Malacca International Trade Center, MITC, Ikuti, today. For the record, a total of 147 children patients have been placed at MITC PKRC to date, and of the number, 99 of them aged 12 until 17 years old, and another 48 were aged below 12 years old. Prior to this, Health Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Adham Baba was reported as saying that until 30th of May, a total of 82,341 children and infants were infected with COVID-19. Clinical waste such as disposable plastics, rubber gloves and insulation gowns used by frontliners at health facilities have so far increased by 111.94% compared to December 2019, which is before the COVID-19 pandemic took place in the country. Deputy Environment and Water Minister Datuk Dr. Ahmad Mazrizal Mohamad said clinical waste volume would continue to increase to 173.25 tons per month within the next 12 months if the pandemic continues. Met today, he said this is considered a significant figure that can threaten the Earth's greenery and environmental sustainability if not managed properly. He said the Ministry of Environment and Water, or CASA, through the Department of Environment, DOE, and related agencies, had taken steps to overcome the constraints of waste disposal efficiency, but there was still a backlog of clinical waste to dispose of.
Bermakna dalam hal ini, menguruskan COVID bukan soal hanya kesihatan, bukan soal hanya keselamatan, tapi juga soal berkaitan dengan alam sekitar. Kerana apabila bahan-bahan ini dibuangan ini tidak diurus dengan baik, kelak ia akan memberi mudarat bukan hanya kepada penduduk, rakyat, tetapi juga alam sekitar.
Datuk Dr. Ahmad Mazrizal said this to reporters after handing out food aid to frontliners at the Kampung Batu Muda Tambahan Enhanced Movement Control Order, or EMCO. He said so far, 12 incinerators, 4 microwaves and 1 ozonator had been licensed nationwide to manage the SW404 scheduled waste, with a total capacity of 5,168.05 tons, and this was still able to accommodate the current clinical waste generation of 4,394.37 tons. He said CASA also welcomed private health facilities interested in managing clinical waste in Malaysia to contact the ministry or DOE. Police crippled drug smuggling ring uses courier service. The Foreign Minister Datuk Sri Syamuddin Tun Hussein is to discuss the Chinese Air Force incursion incident with his Chinese counterpart Wang Yi at the sidelines of the special ASEAN-China foreign ministers in China. on Monday. A statement from Wisma Putra today said Datuk Sri Syamuddin will be leading the Malaysian delegation to the meeting in Chongqing on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of ASEAN-China dialogue relations. All ASEAN foreign ministers as well as the Secretary General of ASEAN are also expected to attend the meeting. During the special meeting, the foreign ministers of ASEAN and China will exchange views and explore collaborative ways and means in dealing with the COVID-19 outbreak, in addition to regional and international matters of common concern. Datuk Sri Syamuddin is expected to hold a bilateral meeting with Wang Yi on the sidelines to explore more substantive and dynamic partnership in areas including COVID-19 vaccines cooperation, infrastructure development, finance, digital economy, food production and high-tech agriculture. The two ministers will also discuss the best way forward in ensuring the incursion incident will not recur in the interest of maintaining peace and stability in South China Sea and avoid any miscalculation or unintended consequences. Malaysia on 3rd of June had summoned China's ambassador in Kuala Lumpur and handed over Malaysia's protest note in response to the recent incident in Malaysia's airspace off the coast of Sarawak. Police and the relevant authorities have conducted about 85,000 daily operations during the 4 days of the lockdown. Now, Home Minister Datuk Sri Hamzah Zainuddin said the operation also included 35,000 inspections on premises such as restaurants, supermarkets and factories nationwide since the total lockdown was enforced on the 1st of June. He said the other agencies involved in the operations are Armed Forces, Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Ministry officers, as well as Housing and Local Government Ministry.
Dari 1 Jun hingga 4 Jun, sebanyak 3,514 kompaun telah dikeluarkan dan 163 tangkapan telah dibuat oleh pihak PDRM. Sebanyak 117 perbadanan telah dikompaun atas kesalahan pelanggaran SOP. Sementara gerakan lalu lintas di lebuh raya, terutamanya lebuh raya utama negara, kadar aliran kenderaan didapati menurun kepada sekitar 500,000 kenderaan sehari berbanding daripada dulu, iaitu 1.3 juta kenderaan sebelum PKP.
He added that the traffic reduction on major highways nationwide was as much as 60% since the 14-day MCO 3.0 kicked in on June 1st. However, with the number of motorists on the highways decreasing to about 500,000 vehicles a day, there are 12,000 applications daily which have been approved by the police for inter-district and interstate travel for deaths, emergencies and work. Datuk Sri Hamzah said this at a virtual press conference today. Police arrested 3 men suspected of being involved in a drug trafficking syndicate using courier services in several raids in Petaling Jaya, Cheras and Kuala Lumpur on Wednesday and Thursday. Petaling Jaya District Police Chief ACP Muhammad Fakhruddin said from the raids, 3 suspects were picked up following a report by a courier service worker regarding 4 suspicious packages. In the raid, police seized various types of drugs, including heroin weighing 1,211.35 grams, methamphetamine 0.42 grams, and ecstasy 0.56 grams worth about 42,455 ringgit, stored in 7 packages containing toys and 2 transparent plastic packets. ACP Muhammad Fakhruddin in a press conference at Petaling Jaya District Police Headquarters today said police also seized 2 cars, namely a Mazda and a Nissan GTR, 162,500 ringgit in cash, various foreign currencies and 7 watches, totaling 1.14 million ringgit.
Hasil maklumat risikan, sepasukan polis dari bahagian Setanjaniah Narkotik daerah Petaling Jaya telah membuat serbuan kedua pada 2 Jun jam lebih kurang 12.30 hari di sebuah kedai semenika 24 jam di kawasan Batu 9, Cheras, Selangor. Hasil serbuan tersebut, pihak polis telah berjaya merampas 1 kotak yang dipegang oleh seorang suspek lelaki warga negara tempatan berumur 32 tahun, iaitu suspek 1.
ACP Muhammad further explained that initial investigations found the suspects were paid to distribute drugs using courier service by hiding the drugs inside toys for overseas customers, adding that the group had been active since last month and had received a payment of 1,000 ringgit for each package delivered. One of the suspects was tested positive for drugs, and all of them are now under remand. The case is being investigated under Section 39B of the Dangerous Drugs Act 1952. The Wildlife and National Parks Department, or Perhilitan, has raided a pet shop in Johor Bahru and rescued 23 exotic birds. Now, State Director Salman Saban said based on information, 4 Perhilitan enforcement officers carried out inspection at the shop located in Taman Kota Masai near Pasir Gudang at around 5:30 p.m. on Friday. He said enforcement officers found 15 white-rumped shama, or locally known as burung murai batu, 2 huame birds, 2 blue crown hanging parrots, and 3 jungle fowls. In a release statement today, he said besides the birds, the department also seized 16 bamboo cages and 3 iron cages from the shop. Salman said following an interrogation, the 34-year-old pet shop owner admitted to not possessing any approval letter from Perhilitan to keep the wildlife. He said all of the items are valued at 13,800 ringgit and have been seized to help with further investigations. This is the second time the same premise has been raided by Perhilitan in less than a year for a similar offence where the case is still being investigated. Salman also said a police report has been lodged and the case is being investigated under Section 716 of the Wildlife Conservation Act 2010. Coming up in sport, Mat resigns as president of Malaysian Sepak Takraw Association. Datuk Sri Ahmad Ismail has announced his resignation as the president of the Sepak Takraw Association of Malaysia, or PSM, effective midnight last night. Now, Datuk Sri Ahmad, better known as Mat, who has held the helm of PSM since the 27th of December 2002, said that the decision was made out of a sense of responsibility for the conflict that has plagued the sports governing body lately. Mat also took the opportunity to thank all the members of the association for their cooperation with the programs and tournaments organised by PSM over the years, including the Sepak Takraw League. On the 20th of May, the Asian Sepak Takraw Federation, or ASTAF, removed PSM as an affiliate member with immediate effect after he was found guilty following Mat's action in sending a letter to the Olympic Council of Asia and the International Olympics Committee in his capacity as ASTAF's deputy president on the 24th of February. Now, he was found guilty of breaching the written undertakings given to the International Sepak Takraw Federation, ISTAF, and ASTAF on the 14th of March 2008 to support ISTAF and ASTAF to establish and maintain efficient administration of the federation. Subsequently, he was slapped with a 15-year ban from participating in any Sepak Takraw activities starting May 6th for several offences related to the same letter. Thus far, 11 members have decided to pull out from the national governing body. That concludes this evening's edition of News at 10. In our top story, 16 million COVID-19 vaccine shots expected to arrive within the next 2 months. Join us again at 12:30 tomorrow afternoon. I'm Jessica Lee. Stay tuned to Salura and Berita RTM and have a pleasant evening.